My wife, the so-called CEO, called and said, "We're downsizing. Today's your last day, unless you want to stay on as a janitor." She and her sister laughed, then added, "Don't bother coming home, the locks are already changed." My wife smirked, but I just smiled and replied, "Thanks for the great offer." You ever have that moment when your entire world gets ripped out from under you, not by a natural disaster, but by the person you built it with? The kind of betrayal that makes you question everything, only to realize it was the fiercest wake-up call you could ever get? That was me, the day my wife, Belle, decided to burn everything to the ground. The call hit me just after lunch. I was staring out my 20th floor window at Echelon Global, watching Midtown swirl below, a concrete river of lives and dreams and people who didn't give a damn if someone just lost their footing. I thought it was Belle, maybe checking on dinner, or dropping a hint about our anniversary plans, some new place with tiny, artistic plates that charged extra for the air you breathed. But when I answered, I heard it in her voice before she even spoke, the smirk. It was a cold, sharp sound, like ice cracking. "We're downsizing," she said, breezy, like commenting on the weather. "Today's your last day, unless you want to stay on as janitor. Floors need mopping." And then, unmistakably, Myra's cackle. My wife's sister. It was loud, cruel, clearly meant for me to hear. That chilling sound was all the proof I needed. This wasn't just business. This was personal. Myra had hated me since I stopped bankrolling her Pilates and called her out for using Belle's business card to expense a vacation. She was the kind of person who smiled at funerals, usually to see who was grieving harder than her. I just stared out at the sprawling skyline, forcing my voice to stay even, every muscle in my jaw tight. "Thanks for the amazing offer." Belle laughed. A triumphant, cutting sound. And in her warped mind, maybe she had won. Maybe this was her final, brutal blow. She was the queen now, after all. CEO of a global firm, draped in tailored power suits, clinking champagne glasses with venture capitalists who wouldn't flinch at steamrolling a few lives. She had the title, the spotlight, her name on the mahogany door, and apparently enough pettiness to fire her own husband like a poorly hygienic intern. But what she didn't know, she didn't know what I knew. She didn't know about the fallback plan, the quiet ember I'd been nurturing in the back of my mind for months. She didn't know about the private studio apartment I kept across town, the one where I did my real work. The kind of work Echelon ran on. The kind of work she paraded around as hers in board meetings. She didn't know that while she was busy climbing over people to pose for glossy magazine interviews, I was building something no publicist could spin, no press release could capture. And she sure as hell didn't know that the only reason she could hold her head high in those shareholder meetings was because of the full story added in below.